Welcome back, friends, and if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Betty, and this is the Well-Rounded Workshop. In honor of Earth Day, today's video is shorter and a little different from my usual project builds. Earth Day started back in 1970 and celebrated every year on April 22nd to bring awareness to protecting our planet. And let's be honest, taking care of the planet isn't just a one-day thing. It's something we all could probably do a little better at, myself included, because at the end of the day, it's on all of us. So Earth Day really should be every day. And if you're wondering how to celebrate Earth Day, it doesn't have to be anything big or fancy. You could plant a tree or start a small garden, even something simple that helps pollinators. Join a local cleanup and help get some trash out of your community. At home, it can be as easy as switching to reusable items, cutting back on waste, or just being a little more mindful about what you throw away. You can walk more, drive less, save a bit of energy, support local businesses. It all adds up. Or keep it fun. Go for a nature walk, try a DIY project with reclaimed materials, or spend some time outside appreciating what we've got. At the end of the day, it's really about making small changes that stick, not just for one day, but all year round. Now, anyone who knows Betty knows I love to reuse and repurpose. Giving things a second life is kind of my thing. It honestly drives me a little crazy seeing good materials go to waste. And people throw out perfectly usable wood all the time. Like the other night, we came across this on a drive. 2x2. Yeah, they actually look like they're in really good shape. They look brand spanking new. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to take those. Good wood go to waste. Can't believe someone would throw this out. We'll take it. And every construction site has so much waste. We picked up a whole trailer load of wood from a site just last week. There's so much good material out there that just ends up in the dumpster. And with the price of wood these days, that pile alone would have easily cost a couple $100. That's just wild to me. So thank you, Ron and Jeremy, for that big load of wood. But really, it comes down to being a little more mindful. Before you toss something, just ask yourself, does this still have value? If it does, maybe someone you know could use it. And if not, consider donating it. There's plenty of places and people who would gladly take it. And if something's broken, can it be fixed or replaced? Like this next clip? So this blind decided to give up on me. The cord snapped and a couple of the plastic pieces broke. I took the blind down first and got right into replacing those broken plastic pieces with a couple of flat metal washers I had on hand. Nothing fancy, just something a little stronger that should hold up better over time. Because let's be honest, it's always the tiniest, cheapest little piece that brings the whole thing down. Then I re-threaded the cord, burned the ends so it wouldn't fray, and tied the wooden knobs back onto the pull string. Made sure everything was moving the way it should and put it all back together. Back up it goes, and voila, just like new. A simple fix saved me from buying a whole new blind and kept one more thing out of the landfill. And honestly, it's repairs like this that really add up. Sometimes just slowing down and thinking before buying new makes a big difference. The world already has a lot of stuff. If we can reuse, repair, or even buy secondhand once in a while, it all helps keep things out of the landfill. And here's a little pet peeve of mine. People who bag up their dog's business and then just toss the bag on the ground. I mean, if you're going to go that far, why not just finish the job and take it with you? At least unbagged, it'll break down naturally a whole lot faster. I just went for a short walk around the block this afternoon. Take a look at this. Exhibit A, B, C, D, and E. Now, on a serious note, I want to shine a spotlight on illegal dumping because we've seen so much more of it when we're out on the trails and back roads, and it's honestly pretty frustrating and disheartening when you think about what it does to wildlife and the environment. In this next clip, we're headed back to the trails to a site we first came across a couple months ago when it was completely covered in snow. And while I might make light of things at times in this video, make no mistake, this is something I take very seriously. And here's the aerial view. Unbelievable how people can be so thoughtless. Trash scattered through the woods, left behind with no thought or care for the wildlife, the environment, or the people who have to deal with it. Back at the dump site, but I thought I'd take a peek around. I couldn't really see any of this when the snow was over it, so I thought I'd just dig around here for a minute and just see if there was anything worth anything. Little ornament, busted. Lots of shoes. Wouldn't Betty look great in these in the workshop? Look at this little jewelry stand with some jewelry on it. I'll take that. Look at this old lamp. I always find something. That looks like an old coffin. Interesting. I'm going to show Chuck. Look at this, guys. I found the brazier jackpot. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to fit Betty. That's a nice colorful piece. I'll use that in my Betty video somewhere. I have some kind of heavy piece of marble. Might be able to use that for something, actually. I think that's the rest of that ornament back there. Isn't that funny? And as bad as that mess looks, unfortunately, the impact goes a lot deeper than what you can see. It contaminates soil and water, harms wildlife, and destroys natural spaces. It's also dangerous. Sharp debris, toxic materials, even fire risks. It attracts pests, spreads bacteria, and creates hazards for anyone who comes across it. Fines, well, they can be steep, but most of the time, it's not the person responsible who ends up paying, it's everyone else. Now, if you come across an illegal dump site, don't touch anything unless you're sure it's safe. And remember, it's do as I say, not as I do. But seriously, use caution and common sense. Wear gloves and proper footwear. If you can, document it. Photos, videos, location, and type of waste. And report it to your local municipality, environmental agency, or anonymously through Crime Stoppers. And if it's happening in real time, don't confront anyone. Call the police on the non-emergency line. I did find mail and a wallet with ID in that pile. And that doesn't necessarily mean they were responsible. It could have been a hired job gone wrong. This site has already been reported to the city for cleanup, but it will most likely take some time before it's addressed. And just a heads up, make sure you watch to the end of this video for a sneak peek at what we hauled out of the woods beside that dump site for a future project. I did end up taking a few things from the site, but you have to be really careful if you ever do that. Everything gets fully disinfected and cleaned before it ever comes into the house. I grabbed this piece of granite. It's all washed up now, and honestly, gorgeous. Perfect for a rainy day project. Let me know in the comments what you would do with it. Remember these jewelry stands? I was going to paint them, but after I cleaned them up, they didn't need it, and they're really going to come in handy. And the lamp that looked like a coffin? After cleaning it, I removed the hardware, cut down the base, and added a notch to the top. I gave it a coat of paint, and now it's perfect and ready for Chuck's headset. Now this ornament, I looked it up and it used to have a music box inside. I only kept it because I found the missing piece on the other side of that whole mess. What are the odds? It felt like fate. I cleaned it up, I glued it, rebuilt a missing hand out of clay, gave it a little paint. What can I say? I was committed at that point. It's really not my style, but it gets a second life, even if it gets donated. And here's the milk glass bowl that I got from the same site this winter. And this colorful material. I soaked it outside in a mixture of vinegar and baking soda and ran it through a hot wash and dried it on high heat. I'll definitely find a use for this in a future video. I did come across quite a few name brand pieces of clothing too. Some even still had the tags on them, which is such a waste. But taking clothing from a dump site, especially after it's been sitting, can be risky. It can carry bacteria, insects, and other contaminants that you can't always see or wash out. It's just not worth the risk. Well, that's a wrap for this one. When it comes down to it, we all have to do our part. There's only one planet Earth. Now, I'm not saying everyone should go sorting through dump sites. That would be crazy and dangerous. And I'm definitely not saying we should all become hoarders and keep everything either. But I do think it's about being a little more mindful, making small changes, reusing what we can, and just thinking twice before we throw things away. Because at the end of the day, those small changes really do add up. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. I really appreciate you coming back each week to see what I'm up to. Until then, keep reusing, reducing, and maybe rescuing a few treasures. And remember, one person's trash might just be Betty's next project. Bye for now. Well, it's still here, not in any better condition. It is one cool, heavy-duty trunk. I say we try to hook up a rope and haul this thing to the road so we can come back and get it with the truck. All right, we're gonna see if we can get this hauled out.